I miss my girlfriend. Some of you might know Emily from YouTube. She's got a lifestyle channel on mental health awareness and psychology and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. We actually started our channels around the same time too, and utilizing lockdown to pour into these new creative projects together has been really awesome. This is also the first time that I'm learning something near another person, doing something by another person's side, and that's been so awesome for me. To feel like someone's in the trenches with me, someone's battling out the war between the projects that we visualize and the production value that we end up achieving. But Emily went back to school this week and I'm struggling. And as much as I would like to make a well thought out video with that high production value that's super cinematic and is that thing that I think a lot of you have come to know and love on my channel, and I appreciate that support so much, I can't make one of those videos this week. And I've had a lot of ideas that have come to me, but none of them feel right. And that kind of brings me back to a video that I made about a month and a half ago at this point, which was how I make authentic content for YouTube. And in that video, I talked about how every week I just make videos that feel right to me in that moment. I'm not operating out of a script or a planned sequence of videos that I'm gonna make for this channel. I'm kind of listening to what has happened to me over the course of that week, what strategies and thoughts and experiences are top of mind. And I'm creating on the fly because I've realized that's the best way for me to honor my feelings and who I am, because that's constantly in flux and constantly changing. And I've had a lot of ideas that have come to mind this week. I've had a lot of concepts and thoughts. But when I went to go sit down and write a script, when I went to sit down and think about how I wanted to utilize those topics and create something this week, every single time I tried to do that, I just kept going back to this feeling of, but I miss my girlfriend. And all I'm thinking about this week is the fact that she's not here with me, that the person that I make these videos alongside is off doing something else, and I miss her and I miss that. And so it would be a disservice to you as the viewer, but also to me as the creator, to make something that doesn't honor what I feel now. Some of my YouTube colleagues and buddies would disagree with making a video like this, making a video that's not searchable and isn't necessarily for the viewer, because this video is not going to be searchable and it's all about me, but my life is about me. This channel is not about subscriber counts or sponsorships. It's the journey and story of my life in the flesh as I go through it, as I live it. And a big part of life is struggle. It's the feelings we don't want to feel but have to feel. It's the choices we make and learn from. And all I want to do is continue to learn, to continue to grow, and to continue to figure out who I am by documenting and processing my act of doing and being in the now. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the way that I'm letting myself feel this week. When Emily first left for school, I kept all my feelings to myself. I had journaled everything, but I didn't share any of that with her because I wanted her to feel like I supported her. I wanted her to feel like I was in her corner and that I was just so eager for her to be starting this next chapter of her life. So Macho Ari kicked in, and it's good that I was writing everything down, but I wasn't sharing any of those feelings with her. And so ironically, counterintuitive completely to the point of which I was doing that in the first place, it ended up creating a lot of distance in our relationship. And then 2 weeks later, I sent her basically this package of these wartime journals, and she needed to sift through that, and we needed to backtrack, work through my feelings, and come back together. So I'm feeling everything this time, openly to her and to all of you, and most importantly to myself, because I have a long track record of pushing everything down, just like, let's just hide all of it. The reality of it is that there's a lot of reasons why people start YouTube channels. And while it would be amazing for me to one day have a ton of subscribers on here who care about the journey of my life, I can't do that. I can't show up just for other people. I need to be doing this for myself. And my goal is that I'll be able to look back after a number of years and maybe that initial commitment of 3 years on YouTube isn't it. Maybe I keep doing this indefinitely for a really, really long time, but I want to start something new on this platform. I want to be somebody who's showing up and diarying essentially my life and documenting my feelings in the flesh and the way that I move through my life and the things that I'm feeling in the now, as opposed to being prepackaged and processed and showing up in a way that maybe a viewer would appreciate from an engagement and interest perspective, but that isn't real life. It's not real life to just show the ways that you've been perfect and the ways that you've structured your life so that you're happy. So the way that I guess I'll tie this back to you is that we're all struggling. It is not normal to be happy 100% of the time. It's not normal to feel like everything is always perfect. And we all struggle consistently, constantly around the clock. I think everybody in life is winging it, and especially in this day and age where every platform that you show up on, Twitter, Instagram, your private social media, or doing something like a YouTube channel, we're all essentially putting out some form of a highlight reel. It's very easy to get swept up into being happy and energetic and excited all the time, but that's not real. That's not going to honor who you are. And I want to make this so that I can document that I am struggling right now, that I do miss my girlfriend, and that's a very normal thing to feel. That's not something that I should be covering up from the world. And if you're struggling with anything, if it's something like a life change, if it's something like your partner leaving, or it's school, or it's a midlife crisis, it's okay to struggle. And I don't know if you need to hear a random stranger on the internet say that, but if you do, hi, it's me, the random internet stranger. I want to let you know that I'm struggling right now, and that if you're feeling something you don't feel like is normal, it's probably pretty normal, and you deserve to feel it. This week I'm letting Emily know everything that's going on in my life, all of my feelings, and it feels awesome. It feels awesome to share that with her and to be open and to know that she's receiving it and cares about the way that I handle this transition as well. So yeah, this week I am sharing all those feelings with Emily, and it feels awesome. It feels awesome to write all that down and to own it and to not be judging myself or shaming myself for feeling difficult things, because change is difficult, transitions are difficult, and life is multidimensional. It's a complex system. We have to honor all of the pieces of it, process them in order to realize what's happening and how to fix it. So I'm riding the wave this week, and I hope you let yourself do the same. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.